Hello and welcome back to Courtney Squared. I'm here today with Courtney.
Believe it or not.
Today we are talking about a very, very common and serious topic of endometriosis. Before we start, I just wanted to say that we are not medical professionals, we're not doctors. This is based on our own experiences and our own research.
Yeah.
So
Take what you will,
yes.
But we just feel it's important to share because sometimes lived experience can certainly have more of an impact than what you find online and what doctors come back to you with. So
yeah, absolutely. And we'll get into that today.
Absolutely. So I obviously look so well presented for this. I am day 5 out of having a endometriosis excision surgery. And we just thought, we've been sharing on the Courtney Squared Instagram my recovery and whatnot, but we thought, March is actually Endometriosis Awareness Month, and it's incredible how many people just know nothing about it.
Including me, actually. I have learnt so much about endometriosis just in this last month alone, and I'm in my early 40s. So because I haven't never experienced it or really known anyone to have it in my close circle until now, I've learnt so much from you, from research. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that I've lived 40 years and not really know. I knew it was out there, but I didn't really know what that meant.
The pain has a name, but no one knows what it means. So Court's put together some questions. As we've just said, it's very much answered based on where I'm at in my endo journey, keeping in mind I was only actually diagnosed 3 years ago. I'm 27. And we'll go into sort of how it's missed and how it's misdiagnosed and treated. So yeah. Ask away.
You ready to start the questions?
Quiz me.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in an exam.
For anyone hearing this for the first time, what actually is endometriosis?
So endo is not a period condition. Women are cyclical beings, so our symptoms very much align with our menstrual cycles in terms of levels of pain increasing and whatnot. But endo is a chronic inflammatory disease where tissue similar to the lining of your uterus grows outside the uterus, and it can grow on your ovaries, your tubes, your bowel, your bladder, your pelvic ligaments, even your diaphragm, and it can actually, this lining that grows can actually fuse your organs together. It's pretty horrific, and it's very similar to a cancer in that it spreads and grows through your body, and unless the roots are removed, it's just going to continue to spread.
It's pretty scary. It sounds just...
It's not great.
No. Okay, you've described it as a whole body inflammatory disease. Why is it so much more than just bad periods?
So, as I said, it's purely because of how it spreads. It's not... in some reading I've done recently, it's really interesting, people who seek treatment for endo even resort to having their ovaries and uterus removed to try and stop estrogen going through their body. But endometriosis, it's been found, can actually source its own estrogen. It can create and feed off itself. So it's not, whilst it, heavy bleeding's a symptom, enhanced cramping's a symptom, all those, that time of the month type stuff, it's inflammatory and it's chronic because it makes you exhausted. It affects other parts of your body. I'm still trying to come to terms with it myself and refuse to, believe I've got another chronic illness outside of CRPS. But, it's one of the leading causes of pelvic pain and infertility in the 1 in 7 women that have it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that was one of the things that was pretty scary when I've been learning about this, that That's exactly how it sounds. It sounds like a cancer. It sounds like it grows and spreads exactly the same way a cancer would, which is so scary that it can go and damage other parts of your body. Because I always thought it was just, you know,
bad periods,
just to the uterus and all the girly bits, but no, it affects a lot of other things. Yeah. You've compared it to something that spreads unless the roots are removed. Can you explain what you mean by that?
So there is doctors out there. There are doctors out there that treat endometriosis by doing ablation surgery as opposed to excision. Now, think of like a weed in the garden. If you're just trimming it back until you can't see it, it'll come back with a vengeance because the roots are still in the soil, they're still attached to the plant that it's growing off. It's going to keep coming back. Unless you put, you know, Roundup on it and pull the roots out, it could still come back.
Yeah.
Gardens are gardens, but there's obviously less of a chance. It can be gone for longer and easier to manage when it does come back. Endo is no different. Ablation surgery just takes the top off.
Yeah.
They use a laser and they just chop the head off. Excision surgery, the idea is that they're removing it from the root. As I said, this is my second time being completely cleaned out, and very successful pain management as a result of the surgery last time in particular. Why is it back? Why did it come back? They put me into menopause. We've done hormonal treatment. We've done IUD. We've done contraceptive pill. I've changed my diet. I'm exercising. In my mind, I'm killing the root cause.
Yeah. And you've done all that in how long? How many years?
3 years.
3 years, and you've tried all these different things.
And it's come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it's horrendous.
So would you say there is... I'm just going off.
Yeah, good.
Would you say there is a benefit, like is there pros and cons to both types of, not surgeries, but...
methods of removal? Again, this is only based off research. I've only ever... So I think in my first surgery, they did excision with ablation. So they still went in with a laser to almost try and deaden some surrounding areas. But that's not great for your nerves or ongoing pain. Obviously, uneducated, non-medical opinion, I would obviously assume the excision's the better choice.
Yeah.
Because it's literally pulling those roots out of the ground.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm still learning so much.
I'm still learning.
I'm still learning. Okay. How common is endometriosis in Australia, and why do you think so many people still don't understand it?
So it's 1 in 7 women.
Which is a lot.
A lot. Which, and dead set, I reckon there's a higher prevalence because of the late diagnosis, because of it being misunderstood. I think, I don't know about you, but I remember in year 7 doing sex ed, and you're told periods can hurt, there's varying levels of bleeding, and cramps are normal.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, you get your first period, it's horrendous purely because it's your first.
Yeah.
I remember I struggled a lot with blood clots. I couldn't go to school. My periods were way longer than 7. This whole periods are a week a month. Mine, I was bleeding 50% of the month, or I would just not get my period. So again, why was I so irregular?
Yeah.
You know, went to a doctor. They put me straight on birth control and just said this will help.
Which really scares me.
When I was in year 8.
That's so scary.
They put me straight on the pill.
Yeah.
They ended up, it didn't help too much. They kept telling me to just skip my period, which also isn't good for you because then the blood builds up and you're a bit messy. And obviously hormones are affected. But endometriosis was not even considered. I think even when endometriosis is considered, factors outside of all those things I just mentioned with my time of the month need to be considered.
Yeah.
Low iron, exhaustion, that is not normal. We are taught it is normal to be fatigued and tired on your period, and I'm sure people with regular cycles are.
And it is, but to a degree.
You can still function.
Yeah, yes.
People have bad days. I love a heat pack. I've got one on my shoulder now because of gas pain. That's why I'm a bit fidgety. But, I was just, and, even my mum was like, I used to get really heavy bleeding too, and she doesn't have endometriosis. She's had 2 children.
Yeah.
No fertility issues or anything like that. And, so it just wasn't, I don't know, for its prevalence, the lack of understanding, I think, is just stemming from the lack of even understanding how to diagnose it in the first instance, let alone then the treatment. Yeah.
And I think everyone's got a different pain tolerance as well, which isn't helpful.
No.
You could get people that are a bit more sensitive and
it is just a period.
Think that it's so much worse, and it is just that. And then I would say people more like yourself, you've got a very, very high pain threshold, so maybe it would take a little bit longer to diagnose that anyway. But I think there needs to be definitely something in schools to bring this up. And
I want 13-year-olds coming home from their sex ed class when they're taught about training bras, and you go and buy them their first little sanitary napkin bag that they keep in their school bag ready for your first period, because I remember doing that as a teen as well. But I also want teenagers coming home being a bit more inquisitive and saying, got my first period, and mum, we learn about this thing called endo. I'm in a lot of pain. Go and rule it out. Go and be told it's a bad period.
Yeah.
Don't, but with endo on the tip of your tongue. It took me till I was 23 for someone to go, has anyone told you about endometriosis?
Yeah.
They checked me for bowel cancer. I had endoscopies and colonoscopies at 22.
Yeah.
Before anyone even brought up endometriosis, because it also affects your bowel movements, constipation, diarrhea.
Which is so insane.
And it was, but it was terrifying.
Yeah.
I've got a history of bowel polyps in my family.
Yeah.
So it was oh my goodness, and knowing me, geez Louise, would we be surprised? Probably not. But why wasn't a female condition that's not rare?
Yeah. Why wasn't it at least discussed?
Don't know.
Yeah. That's insane.
But I want 13-year-olds coming home asking to go see a GP about endometriosis if they've got horrific periods, or as a mum, as a parent, you're keeping them home from school for 10 days a month.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter's 12, so she's about to go into that sort of stage of life. And I will be having these discussions with her based on how much I've learned over the last month. If you had have asked me even 2 months ago, I'd probably be like, man,
why is there a conversation?
There's no point. But 1 in 7, why can't it be her? I always go, well, my mum never had anything like that. I've never had anything like that. My daughters won't have anything like that. But as you've just said, your mum,
my family clear,
completely fine, went on to have 2 kids, no fertility issues, and then...
Hi. She birthed a problem.
I wasn't going to say that.
I can.
All right. One more question for you. What does the 6 to 8 year average diagnosis delay look like in real life for women?
Pretty much as we've just, the roller coaster you go on and the insanity that you experience is pretty incredible. So as I said, they slapped me on the pill when I was in year 8. Then, I'm still having issues. Okay, just skip your period. Fine. I because you start telling yourself it's all normal and that every single person once a month's going through it, so to snap out of it kind of thing. So you start adjusting to life in pain. You take the time off work and school. Got about 3 different types of heat packs in my cupboard that I would, whip out once a month. I was on the pill for maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And then I started having all these bowel and bladder problems, which surprisingly my mum then told me that even as a little girl, she was sending me to bed with apple juice and laxative because I was always constipated.
Wow.
I could have had endo as far back as then.
Yeah.
I then went to have an ultrasound. As a woman, it's what you do. I don't think it was anything related to this. I think it was a separate hospital visit where when they've tried to do the internal, they've noticed my uterus is just a bit of an odd shape. Of course it is. I get informed that there's a type of surgery that they can do to make everything just a bit more comfortable because, again, I was having pain during intercourse, another symptom of endo, but I was told it was the shape of my uterus. But makes sense. Things weren't lining up. It was only when I was 22, 23, that I'm in there having that surgery. This is after colonoscopies, endoscopies, ultrasounds, everything's clear as day. I was also inquiring about changing to the IUD because I started suffering chronic migraines, and the IUD is a contraceptive method, is known to help with that.
Yeah.
So it was only by that 10th year of being on a pill, having an unrelated gynecological surgery, you're riddled with endo. So the gold standard of diagnosis to this day, still, which is unbelievable to me with where technology's at, like I could literally walk because of a battery.
Yeah.
But you still need to cut me open.
Yeah.
To detect lesions, cysts. Isn't it? Like, it's actually unbelievable, isn't it?
It's so crazy.
Lesions. So 3 weeks before this surgery, it was already booked in, but my gyno suggested, your last ultrasound 12 months ago showed signs of these endometriosis cysts. They call them chocolate cysts. It's ruined chocolate for me. It's probably worse.
Yeah.
Let's go in for another specialised ultrasound. I'm so sorry. It was no different than any other ultrasound I've ever had.
Yeah.
Cost double though. Could put a price on it. And the report, they're in there examining me for an hour and a half internally, and a woman looked me square in the face and said, "Are you sure you have endo?
Yeah.
Or are you sure you haven't had it removed? Like recently?" It's pretty horrific surgery. I think I'd remember. I haven't moved for 5 days. My cuts are pretty horrific. But I remember calling you, called our friend Miriam, called my mum. Do I cancel the surgery?
Yeah.
What the hell? I've never been in so much pain, particularly these last 3 months. Like, my endo symptoms as a whole have gotten a lot worse in the recent years. I was devastated. I felt sick. Thank goodness I've got the most incredible OBGYN, because he's like, no, you've got it. Doesn't come up all the time on scans, but I'm not expecting it to be that bad. Great. I was woken up and he just goes, it was everywhere and so deep, and it's progressed from stage 3 to stage 4.
Which just blows my mind that you were literally on the verge of cancelling that surgery because of the way these women treated you while doing the ultrasound.
Women at a women's health clinic who see this all
the time. It would not have been the first time that they have not seen.
There are scars on my stomach.
Yeah.
And they're asking me how I've been diagnosed and if it was self-diagnosis. I've just walked. Flagging. You've got to get a referral for these things.
You have to get a referral.
I can't come off the street after being to Mackie D's and
I feel like getting an ultrasound for 2 hours. I feel like being
poked for an hour. Like, I felt I took the day off work. You got to do some bowel prep. It's horrendous. And literally the last sentence of this ultrasound report that I got back was, there are no factors suggesting any signs of endometriosis.
Yeah.
On every single one of my organs.
Which I like, and I'm not in that industry. I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody who does ultrasounds.
A
Sonographer. I'm not a sonographer. But it's crazy that they've not picked up one tiny little bit and you have it like covering half your insides. How have they not seen like the tiniest bit of it?
And like, I do know the imaging, it doesn't often show it. Sometimes some cysts can be detected, but they're also passed off as like just ovarian cysts, which women can get. They come and go. They're hormonal. A lot of women don't even need them removed because they go in to get them removed and they've already sorted themselves out. But, a clear scan does not mean there is nothing wrong and that your pain is not real. And I think what was most upsetting though was this wasn't just a run-of-the-mill pelvic exam where they weren't necessarily looking for it. I've gone to a women's health clinic. There was no bedside manner. 2 women were doing my scans. And it was the practice manager. And it's only that I've had experience with complex regional pain syndrome and having to convince grown adults from the age of 15 that I'm not a lunatic. Did I go ahead with it? But if this was my first or second run-in with anything in this space, best believe I would have been mentally destroyed. I would have cancelled the surgery.
You were a little bit anyway, even though you have
been
through all that.
PTSD, traumatic. I just remember saying to you, it's like the doctor going, she's 15, being bullied at school and wants to be pulled out, so he's complaining of a sore foot. Mate, I wish my life was that simple. So there was a lot of when he told me, it was the next day and I was very drugged up and alone in the hospital, and there was this wave of validation, like the ego in me kicked up a notch, but a wave of grief. Because what the hell? So lots to navigate.
I just find that so scary that if, like you said, if somebody was going there and that was their very first experience and they hadn't dealt with chronic pain in the past or anything like that, that was their first experience, they would absolutely walk away from that thinking it's all in their head.
Which is why...
Which is insane. And they could potentially cancel their surgery or cancel, even cancel an appointment with the doctor and be riddled with it on the inside and just push through that pain as women do.
Become more infertile, become like a mental health statistic.
It's insane.
Productivity. I think something that actually shocked me is the economic burden endo poses. So it is estimated between $7.4 billion and $9.7 billion annually, and 2/3 of this cost stems from lost productivity due to chronic pain and reduced working hours for sufferers. 2/3 of that. I'm a taxpayer. Look into it.